The following has been sponsored by the American Heart Association. Welcome back to the 574 and more. And is your zip code affecting your health? Arlen Hamilton is with us, who is the CEO and co-founder of Backstage Studio. Arlen, welcome to the 574 and more, and let's discuss ways that we can drive change in our neighborhoods. What is social entrepreneurship?
Sure. Well, if you think about social entrepreneurship as social impact, that's how I like to think about it. It's thinking about putting dollars to work that are investment dollars that are going to companies that are making a difference in the world. So sustainability, environment, healthcare, and also driving revenue and driving profit, and having both work together and not be separate from each other. That's how I look at it.
Well, how can zip code affect your health?
Well, see, I'm learning a lot about this because I didn't realize that 20% of your healthcare is based on your actual going to a doctor, but the other 80% is about where you live, what kind of money you have, what kind of education you have. I mean, that's pretty stark. So 80% is affected. If you think about in the US, you can live 5 miles apart from someone else and have a difference of life expectancy of up to 20 years. Because maybe the other person has better access to healthier food, has more money to spend on that food, and is getting service maybe from an ambulance or at a doctor that's a higher level of service than the next person that's only 5 miles away. So it really does make a difference where you live, where you grew up, what habits you formed, and things like that.
Wow, that really is a big difference. How can this business model improve health in underserved communities?
So there's a lot of companies who are thinking about social entrepreneurship and social impact, and so they're starting companies, and some of them have been around for a long time, but they're getting more and more capital behind them, where they're not only thinking about the bottom line, they're not only thinking about making a profit, they're thinking about how can we do things, and there are some great examples. One came out of the American Heart Association's accelerator. It's called 412, and they're sending out cars, basically like the same way you would order an on-demand car. They're doing that and having these cars go out, pick up food that would have been thrown away from restaurants and other places, and they're actually taking it to people who need the food. And this is good food. I think they said 40% or so of the food would have landed in a landfill, but this is actually good food, packaged, unopened, most of it, and it could go into bellies instead of the garbage.
Yeah, that seems like a big waste of that food that's just being thrown out, right?
Yeah. And so there's companies like that are doing great. There's another one called Goodr, Goodr. They're doing the same thing in Atlanta on a bigger scale, and they're definitely for profit. And so you have the for-profit and your nonprofit ideas, and they really can make a huge difference over the next few years.
Yeah, I was wondering, how can our viewers drive change in our communities, and where can they go for more information?
So the American Heart Association, which I'm really excited to volunteer for, they have a website called empoweredtoserve.org, and they have all sorts of information about grants and about signing up to the accelerator and things you can do starting today. So if this is interesting to you, you have ideas maybe, or maybe you don't have ideas, you want to know where you could start, this empoweredtoserve.org takes you right to the tools that you'll need.
Okay, well, we appreciate that. And thank you for being here with us today. Well, not really here, but there. Thank you for being with us today. All right.
Yeah.
It's Arlen Hamilton. We appreciate your time. And the 574 and more, we'll be right back.